1972 Range Rover Classic, Suffix A, which means it's one of the first ever built. 256, build number 256 out of 400. That's its real colour. That's the colour I'll be painting it when I'm at that point. So this is a bump stop. It should look like this here. So I'm going to have to replace this. Just walking around the vehicle now. The windows are there, they're just inside. This tailgate is rotten. It's rusted up in here, like there's literally nothing there except rat's nest and pine needles. So I'm going to pull them out now. Better out here than at my place, eh? This is just a recreational vehicle that it can return to the earth. I don't even know if this opens. Oh, look at that, it opens. So it should have hydraulics, yep, but they're gone. One's disappeared and the hydraulics are no good. So let me just see if I can... I've never owned one of these before. Okay, as I suspected, there was a stick in the back. Right, so I should pull this handle. Maybe push it. Oh, yeah, that might be it. Alright. What did that fall off? Okay. So, let's have a look at the floor. Now, I don't know much about these vehicles. Okay, that's rotted away there. There's a rust hole. That's going to need doing. Yep, she's rust. So, you know, just in the floor really was what he told me. I can't really see, but all up in here, it's rusty. I'll have a look under here. See, there's rust through the sills there. You know, that's really bad. Like that's serious stuff there. That's real serious stuff there to do. Oh my goodness, what is that? Don't know what's going on there. Like that whole floor will have to be cut out into the sill. I don't know if the doors themselves will be salvageable. But you know, I will do the best I can with what I've got. I mean, it's going to be the whole floor by the looks of that. So what I'm thinking is, you know, that's going to need paneling. I'm going to buy myself a decent hammer and dolly set. And what I'm going to try and do is buy as many pieces of equipment, you know, like folders, swages, sheet metal cutters, as I go along. Obviously, it's going to take time to buy these things. And I'm really curious to see what's behind the wheel. I'm not going to be able to buy it straight away, but the purposes are that if you get someone to do the work for you, you're paying them for that work and you never see that money again. But if I teach myself how to do it and I buy the material and I learn myself, you know, not only am I giving myself a skill, but I'm also saving myself the next time. See, there's been repairs done in there. Where do I see that? But you know what? I'm not bothered. Alright, I'm all sneezy now. Look at that. That's what I just pulled out of the back door there. So, and here's I've moved the spare wheel. There's the wheel well. So from what I can tell, just by having a quick looking over it all now, the only area in which I will is that the flipping, gosh, that rotor is almost completely gone on the back there. The area where I will, you know, I'm not going to be able to do much on myself is with regards to the body in terms of getting it sandblasted or possibly soda blasted. So what I do there, and there's other things, like I will have to at times, depending on what it is, I will have to, you know, get the services of professional outfits, because, you know, you just can't have a, you know, acid dipping tank or a sandblasting setup at home. It's too expensive, obviously. It's cost prohibitive. So I'll just see if I can see anything on the roof, how the roof's looking. I mean, I don't know how much of this is typical bloody sunroof. You know, people were just putting these roofs in like crazy in the 80s. Everything had them. So it's old school vinyl interior, vinyl seats. Not as Meccano as series Land Rovers in terms of, you know, panels coming off and all that. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see exactly how they're built, because things like sills and you know, like this part down here, that's bad. This part here, you know, that's like different layers of skin all kind of amalgamated together. So that's where it starts to get a little bit more technical. But anyway, this is what I've bought. But that's where she rested. And as I turned hard, it's got no brakes. As I turned hard to the right to not bash into the fence, the front wheel was scraping on the under portion there, and this come off, and this is all bog as well. Like, oh my goodness, are you serious? What on earth is that being bogged for? Look at this. Hey baby. Look. There's something not right there. Now, I'm pretty sure these things have a I don't know if they have a latch inside or in between the grill here. If they do have them inside, they're on this side from memory. Passenger footwell. There it is. Seems to work. See if that worked. If I just broke it, I probably just broke it. Oh, it's a welding tip. Look at that. Knew the shocks were gone. There's a half drunk bottle of beer. Someone's had a HT lead off for some reason. Twin carburetor, 3.5 litre V8. Now, the reason I would keep it there's your clutch, that's the cylinder inside, the master cylinder's inside that I saw. So there's your power steering box, and am I looking on the right side for the dipstick? The last time I had a Rover V8 was in a Discovery, so it was a 3.9 jobby. There's oil on there. And be curious to see where cylinder 6 HT litres. Is it there? That's it there. I'm just going to go get a torch. So there's rust in the channel at the back there. You know, because this thing here, yeah, so there's a double skin in there. So panel beating that is, you know, I'm not going to get hammer and dolly to that. I'd have to, it looks like it's pop riveted, so I could probably drill all that out. That might be spot welded or brazed, this section here. It's certainly bolted on through that, but if I can pop rivet that out, drill that out, depending on how that's attached. One thing I've never done is brazing, but that should come out, and then I can get a dolly on the other side and tidy it up. I mean, a bit of bog would do the trick. It's not, that's not a re-vinning issue. This would all need to be repaired, like replaced. This is all hard as fuck. Let's have a look on the left hand side here for rust. Well, the floor's certainly rusty. I mean, that's just, real bad. It looks like, to me, I don't know if that's factory, it might be. He said he'd done them before. I don't know if there's rust in there. There is, I think. Yep, there is. And I mean, this is the side that has got the pinch welds down the bottom all coming out. I'm just going to go get a torch and have a quick look. Let's just see what we can see. Okay, let's get under the front. Give me a second because this hurts me getting down on the ground. So that's going to need, it looks like it's been welded, but might just be the way it's rusting. That side's looking alright. You know, this thing is probably worth repairing properly and not wrecking. I mean, if I can get pretty handy. Right, so where did I see? So what, this sort of balance here, I don't know what it is. Is it, it's like it's plastic. It's all bent down that end. Maybe I was thinking it was the rear that's bad, the rear cross member. Maybe the front's not too bad at all. That disc's horrible. It's not looking too bad. I mean, it would need, that bushing would need replacing, and that is a body mount. So the chassis itself is looking completely salvageable. I'll have to go inside and do some research about where to find the engine number, because I am curious as to know whether it's the original engine. Like if it's matching engine, this thing here is held on with 2 nuts per side. What's that other mount look like? I'm pretty sure it's going to look the same. I'm not going to move there. And I also don't know where any other tags would be. There's that tag there, which is long worn off. There's that tag there, which is the chassis number. So I'd have to see if it was like Toyota that would also have a chassis number stamped on the chassis, because that is one of the things about vehicles in New Zealand. I don't know. See, that's been welded at some point. The thing about this that I've noticed, so I mean, oh fuck, that's my shoulder. Sorry for the grunts and the, I just live in constant fucking pain. So that's real bad. It's really boxy, like the body is really boxy. So as we know, this is really bad in here, and it looks like it's been pop riveted on. So like, I don't know how much of this is factory. This is 1972, okay? They were still making series Land Rovers in 1972. Okay, the last of the series Land Rovers, or if you want to get technical, it's actually the first of the 110s, but they were still 109s, was the Stage 1 V8s. Okay, so that back cross member is pretty bad. That's actually not the cross member, that's actually the body. Okay, so that part of the body is pretty bad. I would love to have a hoist. It would save the old body so much grief. Right, that's me for the day. I'm going to go and feed my puppy because she'll be hungry. She has eaten today, but she's going to get a real meal now. And I might cook something for myself. And I just want to go and have a look at the front because I'm a glutton for punishment. The rust, even for me, okay, I've got to strip it to be sure, but it's going to be doable, right? What is probably going to be more of a headache than anything else is finding bits of trim and lights, stuff like that. Again, I don't know. I know that they still got bits and pieces for these things in the UK, but you know, again, cost is going to be a consideration with everything. So that's been repaired before. That's what I'm looking at. This has been repaired before, and it's failed in the weld. But as I said over there, it's actually quite boxy. And the reason why that's important is because square steel is easy to make. It's when you start having swages and grooves and channels and overlapping, like things like that section there where it overlaps, you know, there's two bits of steel there. Like, how does it look there? There's two bits of steel there, and that looks like there's butt welds in there, I think they're called, or plug welds maybe, that's probably the proper name for them. Well, now that I've had a bit of a look, I'm feeling a little bit better. It might not be as bad as what I first thought. What I'm going to have to investigate is, you know, like with that Land Rover and even with that Land Cruiser in there, both of those things I can remove the entire front clip, the guards, the grille, the bonnet, everything. Now, it's looking like I can do a good portion of that with this as well, but I'm hoping I can do the whole lot. There could very well be, you know, a front inner guards that are part of the actual body. So I've got to be aware of that. And then I've got to work out whether this is actually, like, is this rooted because it's rusted or the shock's just rooted? I mean, that one there looks rooted. Alright, let's call it a day and let's go do some homework. Let's feed my puppy, go do some homework. I'll put this bonnet down and I'll shut the garage up.